Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Today we are playing around with color. I have recently painted in my bedroom this beautiful rich dark green. I've got this big beautiful wall behind our bed that I want to create some really fantastic big art with, but I'm not 100% sold on what colors are going to look the best against this dark green. I'm going to take some object and create a simple painting with it using a puddling technique which I'm learning, which is really thick brush strokes and really thick application of paint, almost like impasto type painting, which, oh, I love brush strokes and sharp edges. That's the future. That's the future for me for sure. Who knows? It changes every time I learn something new. So I am going to play around with color today. That way I can, non-committal way do this simple painting, doubles as an evolve assignment, and I can have it up on my wall and just see, in the different light, that morning light, that evening light, just so that I know when I commit to the colors, I know it's gonna look good without having to commit to creating a really big, spectacular, fantastic painting, which, woo, I'm excited about. If you're excited about that too and you wanna see that, let me know and I can absolutely record that process. I'm not 100% sure what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so what are we working with today? We're working with some deep reds, some bright oranges, and you can't really tell, but the bowl here is kind of like a pastel-y yellow. It's not really my color. I'm not a big fan of pastels, but I'm curious to see how that's going to look against that dark green. So as you can see, we've got the palette all laid out and now I'm ready to get into painting. It has been a hot minute since I've been in my studio. My studio days are usually Wednesdays and Fridays, and when the kids have appointments and things come up, that's usually the days that I book them. There's been a lot of them lately, but I'm very excited to get back to painting, especially getting into some rich color. Let's get rich. I'm so excited. Having my favorite studio snack. I love popcorn. Shadow color for the orange. It's auto-focused on my face. The weirdest part about this technique is mixing enough paint to make sure I have enough. It's a lot of paint. My brain's like, no, don't waste your paint. That's what we do. We painted. It's not a waste if we're painting, right? In my super bunny painting, the background got this really gorgeous like olive color, and I love that color. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna look against that dark green. So maybe I'll make this one kind of olivey green and see how it plays against that dark green. Give it a little tone on tone. Whatever. This is my palette. Let's get started.
wanna see you dance.
Alright, I'm done. It is very late now. I'm very tired. The sun has gone down. I'm exhausted. But we've got our painting finished. I will do a B-roll of it. Oh, I'm so tired. I've got paint everywhere. That was such a messy painting session. I haven't had a messy session like that for a while. It's on my pants. It's all up and down my arms. It's everywhere. I dropped my palette at one point on my hardwood floors. I'm exhausted. But I'm excited about the color. I really love this rich, like reds and oranges are kind of the colors that I'm playing around with. Again, I'm not 100% sure about that pastel yellow, but I put the pastel yellow kind of close to the side here because I want to see what that's going to look like next to the wall. So that was a little bit strategic. Okay, so I have the paintings up on the wall and I want to share with you some of my thoughts because I have a lot of thoughts. I'm so glad I did this. First of all, as you can see, I have a couple of extra paintings up on the wall which you haven't quite seen yet. Sneak peek, getting ahead. I will probably post these a little while. I wanted to get them up on the wall because I wasn't 100% sold on these colors. So let's get into it. Colors. First of all, I don't like this pastel and I totally screwed up the background of this painting. It should not have been this light. It totally throws off the light and shadows. It was a bad idea. I was very tired at the end of painting this, so and I had extra on my palette, so I just threw it up there just to get it done. Bad idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, now I know I don't like it. I don't like this pastel. I wasn't 100% sure why I didn't like this olive color, and I thought I had, matched it fairly closely to what I had in the previous painting, so I decided, okay, let's put up the previous painting. And I love this olive against this, and I realize why now. Because with this technique, I used a glazing technique, and I had a light green, and then I glazed yellow on top of it. And I love the way that that looks because it gives this just real richness, and you can't quite get that with opaque paint. So while this is close, it's not the same, and I definitely love this color and I want to use this absolutely in my painting, but I'm going to use it with a glazing technique because I like it a lot better than this. The reds and oranges, which I was really excited about. Love the red, hate the orange. I think because the orange ended up being a little bit too vibrant, it ended up looking a little bit too fake, and it does not look like a real orange. So I should have probably added some burnt umber or something like that in there just to ground that color a little bit better. And I think that's fairly close. There's a little bit more Naples yellow and a little bit of some other color in this orange pear here, and I like this color a lot better. I'm not set against orange. It's just, it has to be a little bit more of a neutral orange, which is a little bit of a theme, which I started to realize in doing this, which I'm so glad I did this. I put up my first impasto painting, which if you have followed along and watched all my videos, then you've already seen this one. If not, I'll link it. I decided to put this one up on the wall just for fun. Glad I did because I love this yellow. I love this bright, vibrant yellow. Love the red. I like the red in this one too. But the tabletop, right? I really like this warm brown, these natural tones. I think those look really good, so I'm excited to use those. And after putting up a couple of my other assignments, I thought, yeah, absolutely, I need some more of those nice, warm, rich tones, and I really love that. I like the wood tones here, but I feel like this, especially this color, this wood tone clashes with my my whatever this is called. Why am I blanking? What is this called? My window frame, my trim shapers, creepers. I feel like this specific orangey, this is a lot more orange than this, even though my trim is very orange. So wood tones, yes, but making sure that they match my trim. I love this purple against the wall, so I'm excited. And about cloth, I'm so excited to paint cloth. I think in my setup, which is probably going to be a still life setup, that I want to create and put pieces together that have symbolism and meaning and all that exciting stuff, I want to use some kind of cloth. And I really liked this purple tone, so I'm glad I put this painting up here. Another fun thing I realized was that impasto painting has a lot of texture to it, right? That's the whole point of it. But what comes along with that texture is that there's a lot of, whenever the light hits it, it bounces off all over the place and it gets really reflective, especially in the morning. I have eastward facing windows here and the sun just beams in here in the mornings, and the paintings almost looked like washed out in the morning because there's so much light reflecting off of them that I thought, Whereas this one, not so much, done in a glazing technique, so there's lots of passes of paint and it's a smooth, even pass of paint, whereas this has a lot of texture, so there's a lot more, even as you can see, I've got filming lights in here, but you can see there's so much more light reflecting everywhere. So I'm going to use an impasto technique. Well, obviously not in the whole thing because that'd be way too much paint, but I'm going to use some more flat, smooth, even texture techniques and then use impasto just where I feel like it's going to make the biggest impact. I'm very excited to paint this painting. I want to, if you guys are interested, I want to take you through the entire process of my inspiration, setting up this still life, photographing it, figuring out what size is going to look the best in the room, painting it, talking about the different techniques that I'm going to use to paint it, and then putting it up in my space and getting it framed and all that stuff. I want to take you along in the whole journey. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, please let me know. I really enjoy your guys' feedback. I don't get a lot of it, but please just let me know. Just let me know that you're here and that you see it and that you're excited. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in the next one, friends. Take care. Bye for now.